Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Brothers Beyond with Ted and Andrew. It's great to be with you.
Yeah.
We're doing a couple episodes of talking about our current relationships. And today we're going to be talking with Andrew about his relationship with his wife.
Yep.
So we'd love to hear about how you guys met and maybe what led up to you guys meeting and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about the beginnings of your relationship.
Sure. Absolutely. So we've been married for just a few months now, actually. We were married in June. It's now October at the time we're recording this. But so we've been together for a little over probably 2.5 years. And it really started, it was actually through Facebook that we met. But it started because I was looking for a long-term partner. I had been through this on again, off again relationship, long distance thing for a long time. And then I was done with that. And then I was like, okay, I live in St. Louis and let's find somebody here. I made this rule, like, don't date anybody that's out of town. That's dumb. If you're going to create a life with somebody, find someone where you are, where your life exists. So it was really funny because I was like, all right, I'm getting serious about dating. I'm going to find a partner that maybe I can marry. And I was like active and open and talking about that with friends and people and stuff like that. And I have this really close friend of mine, this amazing woman, Lynn O'Brien, who's a musician and a speaker and a healer, and she's incredible. And I was like, Lynn, I'm looking for somebody. Do you know anybody? She's like, I'm glad you asked because I do know some people. But she put me in touch with a good friend of hers who lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I was like, well, this is breaking my rule, but let's talk. And it started to go well. And I'm like, God damn it. But ultimately, I was like, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to go further with this relationship. So I was like, I want to stay in St. Louis. But it felt like actually that was a good sign that in dating this person briefly, I was really coming at it in a different way. I was like, I'm not just trying to not be alone. I'm not just trying to sleep with somebody. I'm trying to like actively go through the process of dating and finding someone that has the qualities and attributes that I want, that is interested in the long haul, and that is not afraid of the discomfort that can come with, relationship, and someone who is willing to work through things. So it felt to me like that wasn't a failure. That wasn't a mistake. I learned something. I learned that, oh, wow, I can do this. I asked questions and looked for the green flags and all that stuff. Because previously my relationship and dating history had not been like this.
Yeah.
It was a very big shift.
It sounds like it gave you the evidence that it's out there and
Yes.
it's possible for you.
Yes, absolutely. Because there were a lot of good things about that person. And I was like, oh, I can find what I want. Maybe not everything was there, but I was like, I can know what I want and I can find what I want and I can talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was great. It was really great. It made me feel good to just to have that confidence. Like, yes, I can do this and it can happen. Continued dating. There were some more misses, and I really kind of struggled a little bit with the process of saying no to people. I think I have a touch of that nice guy syndrome, or have had that. And it was difficult. I didn't want to hurt people, but ultimately I was able to give those no's and keep looking.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was, and I actually rather like this part, and I think it's sometimes important for other people to hear this, is, I was using the apps, I was approaching people in person, asking friends if they know people and all this stuff. And I kind of had taken a pause. This was still an intention, but I was like, I just need to not be going at it so actively right now. And then what happened was I got a friend's request on Facebook, and I actually never tried to message anybody through Facebook to get dates or do dating in that way. But anyway, so she sent me a friend's request, and we had some mutual friends in common. And I was like, oh, okay, well, if you're cool with them, you're cool with me. So that's where we originally got connected. And I think she sent me a message right away. And I could tell that she liked me. And I also felt an attraction. So I was like, okay, well, let's see where this goes. And eventually I asked her out for coffee. And we actually, instead of coffee, we actually met at a soccer bar to watch our soccer team play. And I'm not a huge sports person, and she isn't either, but it was fun. And yeah, things went from there.
We were joking beforehand that Andrew doesn't actually like, or
Yeah.
didn't actually buy this shirt that has the
Yeah.
St. Louis Blues on it.
Yeah. But it's a comfy shirt and it's fall.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really fun and magical. It sounds like there was a lot of elements that were new, like, not really reaching out to people on Facebook in
Yeah.
that way, but
Yeah.
being open to
Yeah.
new
Yes.
possibilities.
Yes. Yeah. Because I was in this process, I was like, okay, let's see who is this person? What's
Yeah.
happening here? Yeah.
It's like, what's the worst that can happen?
Right. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So share with us some of the things you enjoy about your relationship, like what makes it healthy, what keeps you guys connected.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the best part of it, and something that I called out in the very beginning, is our desire to work together through whatever comes up. I just feel like that is a major cornerstone for the health of our relationship and a growth edge for me, but something that I knew was necessary. And I kind of asked for it. I think I said it somewhere actually during our first date. The first time we met, I said, I'm really looking for a long-term partner. And I said that I want someone who is willing to put in the effort and do the work. And I was asking for that. I was also speaking like, that's what I want to do. Because I hadn't really done that before. It's new. And I'm, like I said, it's still growth edge. And I feel like doing really well, but that was new. I realized that part of what was difficult was a lack of conscious desire to talk about and move through to the discomfort, like to be on the same team and to address things that come up. Because it's like, I realized in not doing that, these things just sit there. They just sit there and they work on you. They eat at you, and it's terrible, and it can lead to the ruin of your relationship.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it was a major cornerstone, a major piece, and something that I knew was critical to the success and health of my relationship. And we do that. And it hasn't been easy, actually. It's been a growing point for both of us, but we're both committed to it. We've had some really hard times before we got married of like, okay, we're going to talk about this. We're going to work through it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to feel triggered and uncomfortable and mad or sad or angry. And we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay here. Maybe we need a little space. Maybe we're going to come back to it, or it's going to come up. We're not going to just try and gloss over it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that element of remembering that you're a team
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah.
It's like the two of you versus the challenge,
Yeah.
not against each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know from my own past experience, like a lot of couples, it gets into a blame and a shame and it's your fault,
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
And I love that you are both like wanting and willing to have those conversations together and grow together and individually as well.
Yeah. 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 I just feel like it's really important.
Yeah. So you mentioned it's hard, it's challenging. What for you makes those conversations challenging?
Yeah. I have this fear that if I talk about what's not working for me, or if I just need something, if I need some time to myself, or I want to do something, there's this fear inside of me that's like, don't ask for that, don't do that, don't express that, because it could be damaging, it could be hurtful. Or if I'm like, I want some time to myself, there's this part of me that believes that somehow it's going to send this signal to my partner that I don't like them, I don't want them, and they're going to be hurt. So yeah, it's been really hard for me, and I've worked through a lot of it. There's just there's a little bit left, But there's this fear that somehow my needs and my desires are actually threatening to the relationship. And that if I talk about them, the relationship will be harmed and things are going to become bad.
Yeah.
Or they're going to leave or something like that. So it's almost this fear of abandonment in a certain way, that this person that gives me so much love and attention and care, and whom I care for in the same way, is somehow going to leave.
Yeah.
So that's been hard to work through when I don't like some aspect of her behavior or something that she did or something like that, or vice versa. If I've done something that she brings to me, I can feel scared. But we really have kind of cemented that perspective of like it's us versus the problem. And that has made me feel a lot safer. And we've learned a specific communication technique that makes us both feel much safer in expressing difficult things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
It does. Okay. Yeah. And what I want to highlight is like when we say us versus the problem, a key part of that is really identifying what the problem is.
Yeah.
Because as I say, and as I've heard often, like the heated arguments that couples might have, like it's not actually about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about how the dishwasher's loaded. It's not even about the kids.
Yeah.
It's the deeper thing. And like for you, what you said is you're concerned that your needs are detriment. What was the word you used?
Yeah, like somehow going to be harmful to the relationship.
Yeah, and so that's like that's the deeper thing. And when you can be aware of that and voice that, and so that it's sitting out here, and you're both aware of it, it's like, okay, well, Andrew is having this experience. How can we work through that? And being less about blaming you for it and more just about, okay, that's a thing that exists.
Right. Being really objective about it. Yeah. Because let's go into like a clear example of how it can get backwards is like, okay, if I feel like I have a need for more me time or some space to engage in a hobby, see a friend, whatever, go for a walk by myself or something like that. If I'm feeling that, like I need space, I need time for me. If I didn't have the same level of awareness, I might start to blame it on her. Like she's demanding, and it's kind of a fabrication. It's like she is stopping me from doing what I want, and it's her fault when actually I have a need and I'm not talking about it. So like I could come at her with, why can't you do the dishes more? Like, why can't you pick up our daughter? Like, why can't you do, like, cause I need me time. I'm like, you need to be doing that. And it's like, no, I need to be speaking up for my needs rather than telling you what to do. And then coming at it like, okay, how we're on the same team, right? If I am able to not go into blame, or if somehow that does happen and we can step back and be like, all right, what's this really about?
Yeah.
Right. Is it really about my wife is not doing enough in the house, and so I've had to do all this stuff and I feel cramped or something like that? Like, is that really it? Or is it me? How and where can I take responsibility for this?
Because in that hypothetical situation where there isn't the awareness, as humans, we can tend to put the blame on the other person for how we feel. And instead, when we have the awareness, we can take ownership of how we feel and maybe why that is.
Right.
And that shifts the dynamic. Away from the you versus me and more of the,
So if we are on the same team and we're holding this perspective, then it's like, okay, let's talk about this. Like, you're having this feeling. What else is there? And she can help me go into what's actually going on internally here, because something's coming out at her. Let's do a little bit of investigation and see what's happening, and then and doing that in such a way that I don't feel attacked, to make sure that we know that we're on the team. She's not attacking me. She's not being like, you need to get into your shit. You need to fix your own self and do better. It's like, no, we're in this together. If I need to take some responsibility, I will. If she needs to take responsibility, she will. right? And it's like, let's figure this out because this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good in our relationship. So let's see what it is and what we can do about it together and not take it personally.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so evolved and conscious, and I'm hearing the word like liberating.
Yeah. It feels good to not make her bad and for me not to be made bad in exchange. And there's a relief that I'm not bad, I'm not guilty, I'm not some kind of fuck up, and neither is she, that somehow this just exists. And let's figure out how we can resolve it. Yeah.
When you say relieving, that means that there was some sort of tension or tightness, but can you speak a little bit to like what it's a relief from?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a relief from that fear of like harming the relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have the fear that my want or need or whatever it was going to harm the relationship. And also I'm now free of like the discussion of it, like getting into it is going to harm the relationship. None of that's real and none of that's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And I can feel free for both of us to explore this and come back together.
Yeah. And I love that, the more you have these conversations, it helps you build the evidence so that your mind, both conscious and subconscious, has the knowing that like it is safe for us to have these conversations. Yeah. And it allows you to know more and more that old stuff isn't true or it doesn't have to be true.
And I don't know about other people if they can just like one time and get it. But for me, it's been like, I need several occasions of reassurance for me to update the software and be like, it's all right. Go ahead and say that, tell her about this. Don't be afraid. So it's been a process and it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. And I love that. I love that because otherwise we wouldn't be where we are. And it builds a closeness. It builds a deeper connection and we get to understand each other more. So it actually, instead of just like negating something that might be harmful, it's actually providing benefit and providing more depth and closeness.
Yeah,
actually. And that feels really good too, to be like seen and understood. Like, I'm afraid of this. And if I didn't talk about it and we just blamed each other, she wouldn't come to this understanding that Andrew has this fear of something. And she can be sympathetic towards me because I'm afraid, or some part of me is. It builds empathy. It can build connection. And the same thing, like I've come to, when she expresses things, I get to know her more on such a deeper level. Like these are some core deep beliefs and wounds. And when I can see her and she can see me, it's like, oh, wow, I can understand you so much more. I can see this thing that drives actions that has been hidden, that maybe like I didn't know why you were doing something. Now I do. And I just see you more. And that means I can love and appreciate you more, and accept you more for the human that you are.
Yeah. It's a deeper connection there. And I love the collaboration and like wanting to understand more about each other.
Yeah.
As you were talking, I was thinking about how it takes two people for that to happen.
Yes.
And sometimes in relationships, only one person is wanting that collaborative approach.
Yep.
And we're planning to do another episode of talking about some of our past relationship experiences that weren't so healthy, where there was a lack of collaboration.
Yeah.
And so that'll be a fun conversation. But for now, we'll focus on where you're at today. I love that you shared that the willingness to work together and the depth and the connection that comes from that is a huge highlight for you. What are some of your other favorite elements of your relationship?
I feel blessed by the amount of compatibility that we have. And that just feels like somehow it just happened that, wow, that there's so much overlap. The one that feels the biggest is somehow our inner children really like to play together. There's great commonality between like my playful inner child that wants to be wild and explore and get muddy and be spontaneous, and hers is the exact same way. She's like, let's get in there. Let's dive into that creek and, let's learn this new skill. Let's go foraging. Let's do crafts. Let's spontaneously change our plans from going to this party to sitting on the couch or ordering pizza or going for a walk or whatever. It feels so good that we like to play and kind of approach life in that same way. And I just have to say thank you and have a gratitude to God whenever that just kind of happened, because that's not something that you can directly control. I mean, you can seek to find someone that has that compatibility with you, but to have that amount of closeness on that kind of level, I think is just a gift. Yeah, it makes me really happy. We both love the outdoors. There's such a spiritual and deep connection that we share with the earth and the elements. And I feel so grateful because I could not have a relationship with a person that didn't have that. It's so essential to who I am. Like, I want to be like an animal or an Indian or an indigenous person, just like living with the earth, like that would be a dream come true in certain ways for me. And she feels the same way. And I don't think I could be with someone that was just like a city person that couldn't stand to be outside or didn't want to go camping. I'd be like, well, that's a bummer because I really need to do that. Like, I want to become an animal. I want to get that, So, yeah.
I'm curious, to what level did you like express the desire for that kind of compatibility? Was it to the universe? Was it kind of inherent? Did you specifically have conversations while you were dating of like, this is really important to me, or what did you put out there?
That's a really good question. Again, she just kind of popped up on Facebook. So I didn't get to like swipe through profiles and be like, okay, here's an earth lover. Let's talk to them. It was spontaneous, but I love how you asked that because I did do something. I was in that kind of serious dating process, and I live next to this wonderful park in the city, big old park, lots of trees, water, people, and I would walk around and through the park, several times a week. It was just a block down from my house. It was like my backyard. So after seeing this person in Minneapolis for a short time, I was like, okay, we got to stick to here. They're here. There's someone here in my city. And I started doing all these affirmations because I don't know what material I was reading at the time, or if it was just my own impetus from my own like personal growth and development of working with affirmations and changing my mindset and things like that. But I started walking around the park and I would be like, there's someone right here. They're like 5 minutes away. I'm not driving 30 minutes. I'm not driving 35 minutes to date someone. I don't want that, which sounds like demanding or ridiculous, like if there's someone awesome that's 30 minutes away, you're going to date them. But this was like a thing I said. I'm like, they're like 5, not even, maybe 10 minutes away. They're right here under my nose. And I would walk around the park and just name all these qualities about them. They like to have fun and they like to be in nature and they're responsible. They have a good job and they have a good car and like they're really beautiful. All these things. I would just walk around and think about all these qualities. And when no one was around me, I would speak them out loud. I like to walk at night sometimes, but I walk during the day too. And so I would speak it aloud and just like, whether you believe in the universe or God or any of that stuff or not, like I personally do. But even if you do, even if I didn't believe that, I feel like that whole process was just like cementing inside of myself and reinforcing what I'm going to say yes to and what I'm not going to say yes to. And I feel like that's really important. But I believe in a higher power and a greater mystery and spirit. And we found each other on Facebook, and she lived like maybe 7 to 8 minutes away. And she lived down the street from my grandfather's old business. She was living in the neighborhood that my family is from in the city that lived there for generations. And she was like right down the street and was like walking all over the place and knew all these places. And I'm like, those are my roots. This is my family's place. That's where I'm from, essentially. So I felt like somehow my grandparents or my ancestors just like helped me that she was there.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Do you happen to remember how it felt doing those affirmations in the park?
Yes, it felt good. It felt really good as the energy of the walking and like the feeling of the solidness of walking with intention. I was walking with purpose, not just like casually strolling about. I'm like, well, I think I'd kind of like her to be pretty. It was like, no, I am walking and this is what I want. And like felt really forceful in a certain way or like certain or clear. The walking was just like letting the energy of my body come out as I was expressing clarity of what I want. It was kind of like expressing some of the power of my body and the power of my desire at the same time. It felt really good. I didn't do it every day or even every week. I would just do it. I just did it at these times where I felt like this is what I want. Or like it would just, I don't know. My whole life is just kind of like these waves of things and I come and go with certain activities and behaviors. So yeah, it wasn't every day, but it was enough. And it was very intentional and like impactful.
Yeah. What I found with affirmations and manifestation is the more we can actually feel into what it is that we're wanting and for it to be a fun and a joyful process.
Yeah.
Versus a like, I want this and this because I'm tired of this. Like, don't focus on the negative, focus on what you do want.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had this like energetic decision and clarity about what you wanted, and you were allowing it to be a joyful process for you to affirm what it is that you want and what this person looks like and looks like energetically and all of that.
Yeah.
Like I think that helped you create this person in your life. Like we're very powerful creators in our own reality. And I think some people get hung up on affirmations and manifestation. It's like, well, we're told to just like say, I want $1 million. I want $1 million. It's like, it's beyond just the words.
Yeah.
It's more about the feeling of it and allowing yourself to be really clear that you're deciding that that's what you want.
And then following through on action, like spirit is going to meet you halfway, but you have to like be putting yourself out there doing things. You can't just expect it just to show up at your front door. Although that could probably happen too.
Or in your case, your Facebook inbox.
Right, my Facebook inbox. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like your relationship has brought into your life that maybe wasn't there before?
Purpose. It's brought a lot of purpose into my life. There's plenty to say there. I had been single for a long time. And despite being a massage therapist and a coach and having lots of friends and like helping people move, doing all kinds of things like that, I felt like a selfish person. I felt like I was really living for me, that I came first in all the situations. I worked for myself. I get to make my own schedule. I get to say no to if I'm going to work with this person or that person or not. I can choose if I'm not working. If I just need to do me and flop around or walk in the park or do whatever, I had this perception of myself. There was a certain level of giving that I was not engaged with, that somehow felt difficult to engage with. And this relationship and this marriage has changed that for me. And it's not out of obligation. It's not this, well, I'm married and I'm in this relationship, so I have to give to my partner. It's a pleasure, and it gives me a lot to see that like I care about this person and my stepdaughter, these two people. And because I do, I'm going to do this for them, and it's really given me such opportunity that didn't exist before to think of them first and to push myself and motivate myself. Like if I'm just living for me and I'm getting by or whatever, I don't have to give more. But when I'm with my family and I see what a difference I can make for them, I can be tired, right? But am I really that tired? Like I didn't climb Mount Everest, right? Like I'm not, dying of like lack of oxygen. I did some stuff today And my wife also works really hard today, and I can do the dishes for her so she can come home to a clean house. I can put them first, and it's a lot more easy as I love them. It feels good to be caring to them. And like cooking, I really love cooking. I'm a creative person. I love being creative, and it just takes it to a whole nother level. And having them to cook for and to like nourish them and help make them healthy and to give them like a pleasurable, fun, but joyful eating experiences, it's really cool. And I make something and they're just like, whoa, wow, you know. And then to be on the receiving end of the same, like my wife loves me and she does so much also. And it's like, to accept that and receive that is just a tremendous gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the pleasure that you enjoy in the giving. And you said it's not an obligation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us grew up learning that we needed to sacrifice our joy for the betterment of others and, to do a lot of service to other people at the sacrifice of ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with giving. In fact, giving is quite beautiful. And when we can do it from a place of, having our own cup filled first, then it gets to be a joyful, loving experience.
Yeah. And to speak more like on the same topic, but to connect it to like, what do I love about my wife, or what do I love about our relationship? We are like, aside from like digging into our personal stuff and like unpacking difficult feelings and stuff together, like we're a great fucking team. like we work so well together on all of our responsibilities and the fun stuff. It's like, I'm going to do this and this and this. And, or like, I can only do this. And you, like, we both can take on all of the jobs. It's not like there's certain jobs that I can't do and certain jobs that she can't do. Like, for the most part, we both can do like all the jobs, and we don't mind doing them for each other. So we work really, really well as a team, just accomplishing what needs to accomplish in daily life and moving towards our goals. Like, we want to buy a house and like take these really awesome vacations and buy a new car and stuff like that. But so like we work together as a team, like, all right, do we want this? Yes, we want that. Okay, well then what are we going to do? This and this, and I can do that, and maybe we can do this. And this is part of the blessing of the compatibility that I don't know that I could have asked for or like weeded out. But we have like the same level of like organization and messiness. Like, well, it's like, holy shit, that's so good. I recognize it a lot that we both like to be organized, but we also both can be lazy in the exact same ways. So there isn't any sort of friction there at all of like, why is my wife never doing this? Or why didn't she pick up that? And the shoes are everywhere. It's just like, it's the same. It's like, we will go to town cleaning and organizing our house. And then the next week we'll be like, there's a whole bunch of dishes that have been there for 2 days and we're not going to do them. And we're just like, every time there's like never any friction. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because her previous relationship, she was with a messy person who didn't have the organized component, that they were just straight and messy and didn't have the like, this is uncomfortable to me, I need to clean or tidy my living space. They didn't have that. And so it was difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That sounds like a fun bonus to
Yeah.
an already great
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's fun when things can line up, either personality wise, whether it's, house chores or, like you said, like common interests.
Yeah.
And it's good to get clear on what's really important. And then those other things can, like I said, come in as a bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe that wouldn't be
Yeah.
critical to your relationship, but
Right.
it sure is nice when that stuff
Yeah.
lines up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice not to have to deal with that friction all the time. And yeah. And we don't have to work through that. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about a particularly fun or special memory that you've had together.
Gosh, there's a lot. We've made a lot of memories in like 2.5 years. Let's see. snowboarding together. In Breckenridge, we went like as high as we felt comfortable going. We went as high as we could go. It was like 12,000 feet or something like that. Or maybe it was, I don't know if it was 12. Maybe it was 12. Maybe it was 9. But yeah, going on like a big adventure. We were up at the top of this mountain and the wind was just gusting and huge, just whiteout conditions at some point. It's just so much fun to be in that kind of intensity and also like be looking out for each other and our daughter and like having the same attitude of like, this is crazy and we're okay. Not going into the stress mode where we start bickering about shit and like, what are you doing? Come over here. It was like, no, we're just like totally comfortable and we're going to get down the mountain. It's going to be fun, actually. This is really cool and unique. So that's one. Fishing and floating together on the current river last year, I think, in the fall. We did a little float trip and we caught a whole bunch of fish. That was so much fun. And weather was beautiful. The water was clear and just gorgeous. And it was like beginning of September, maybe. It was like really cool out for like a week or two. And we set up the tent in the backyard and we camped in the tent for the weekend for like Saturday and Sunday. And then it was Monday and our daughter has school and we have work. And I think maybe other people would just go to sleep in their house. And we're like, well, it's Monday. Are we going to keep sleeping in the tent? And we were like, all three of us were like, yes. Oh, we slept outside for like a whole week. And it was so good. It was so much fun. And it felt like really good for my body and my nervous system. I was like, I kind of don't want to sleep in the house anymore. So that was a really fun memory. Yeah, there's a lot. There's been a lot of really great times.
Yeah. I love that you guys have such fun adventures together and that your inner children get to play together and to have these experiences. And it's like underneath all that is this really strong, loving foundation.
Yeah.
Like you're able to enjoy it on a certain level because you've been
Yeah.
through the things that you've been
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah, I agree. And whenever things come up, because they do come up, and if things don't feel good or maybe feel like actively bad or really uncomfortable, I don't ever worry. And that gives her a lot of reassurance, actually. But I'm never worried that somehow whatever's going on is going to mess us up or break us apart. I just feel rock solid in my confidence that whatever this is, it is temporary. That's not just because of some belief in an exterior power or something like that. It's because I and we are not going to let it. I don't care what it is. I really don't. And it really kind of doesn't matter what it is, that we're going to get through and we're going to understand each other and it's going to be okay. And we're going to love each other and life will continue to go forward and we're going to continue to have fun, grow. So it's like, whatever's there, it sucks. It's uncomfortable. I may not want to be there at all or talking at all, but also it's like, it's okay. We're going to get through it. And this isn't damaging or fucking up anything. This is us in our process of continuing to grow and understand one.
Yeah.
So
I love that you have that inner knowing.
yeah. Me too.
Well, this has been really great. Thanks for sharing so much about your wonderful relationship. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience?
I could talk a lot longer, and we'll probably share other things in other episodes, but this feels good, and thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you all for joining, and stay tuned. Like and subscribe for access to more of our conversation.
Yep. And we'll see you next time. Bye. See ya.